up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up, I got some gas, some packs, I'm up in the greenhouse. Ball it up, I'm with the gang, we taking shots off the rebound. Fucking my post, say now, I've been humble too long, yeah. Tell them all to stay calm, yeah. Tell them all to move on, yeah. Fucking my post, say now, they be lost in the sauce, yeah. Took a loss, that's your loss, yeah. Had to get my point across. Hey, smoking that dope from Edmond, we the new meth in Redmond. We ain't real blood, but we brethren. Run up a check and it's pending. She fucking my news, what send them? Fuck with the fam, you a dead man. Jesus, peace on my pendant, and we still independent. ISO.
This podcast is sponsored by Easy Skip Tracing. Go to www.easyskiptracing.com for some of the most quality data in the marketplace. In fact, Easy Skip Tracing believes in good quality data so much that they're willing to provide you the leads as long as you skip trace the list with the company. Listen, text 1K leads to 44222 and get 1,000 free leads as long as you purchase the skip tracing with Easy Skip. This podcast is sponsored by the REI Lead Vault. The REI Lead Vault is a real-world Podio workspace solution designed by real estate professionals for real estate professionals. Check it out at the reileadvault.com.
Nothing but nuggets. Yeah. See, I'm telling you, man. Came from nothing to something. Now we giving you game. Dropping nothing but nuggets.
What's up with it? It's your boy Antoine Campbell, the REI Giver. This is actually the Nothing But Nuggets podcast, but we've been running a special episode where we bring a lot of the drip speakers on to really interview them in a high-level setting. And today I got my girl Cassi, all the way from the DFW, here on the show to really talk some wisdom to you guys, man. Today is a special day because it's more than just wholesaling. It's strictly teaching you some stuff that they learned from years and years. I'm her no partner, Audrey Bates, how to get from the mud all the way to the top of the penthouse. And I think today is the episode that you might want to pay attention to, get you a paper and pen, and write some awesome notes. I'm going to introduce you to Cassi without no further ado. Cassi, let everybody know who you are and where you from and what you do.
Hi, guys. My name is Cassi Dehaas, and I'm from Fort Worth, Texas, and I am, I guess, co-founder. We're not great on titles around here of Titanium Investments, and we wholesale, buy and hold, and flip single-family real estate nationwide. We do a little bit of small multifamily in our experience, and we're going more to eventually do some commercial, do some condensing, but we do really love this single family real estate world. And we really literally do this all over the United States. It's not just something that we say. And I have a brokerage here in Texas as well. I'm a licensed agent. And yeah, I mean, Titanium Investments is a beast of its own, and so most people know a little bit about us somewhere, somehow. So that kind of summarizes what it is I do, who I am. I handle more of the operations of these businesses, but we don't really do titles very well around here either. So we'll get into that.
That's awesome. So you basically just step in and get it done.
Yeah. We focus a little bit, and I love this, and Antoine, I appreciate you having me on here today. I love this because I love to just get on and talk about whatever it is that comes about. So I don't actually have too focused of a game plan, which is really rare for me when I'm coming on a podcast, but I actually am talking about focus. So it's like an oxymoron. But I think that we do it a little differently around here. That's why we don't love the titles. We don't really focus on that part of it. We focus more on our blueprint, what our goals are, like who needs to be doing what, who is the best person to handle this specific thing in this specific, business plan that we're trying to achieve this specific goal. So that's why we just don't love the titles around here. RJ is a very high visionary individual. He's definitely the CEO. If you're putting people in a box, the technical terms, but I'm very high visionary too. So sometimes I'm acting as the CEO. Sometimes he's acting as the COO. Neither of us are CFOs, though. I can say that.
So quick question, like how did this all come about, you and RJ working together? Like, can we go all the way from the beginning? Because I'm trying to paint a picture to figure out, because, like, I think my wife always tells me this, people don't work together in groups, especially if it's two or more. And if you ever look at any major successful music group, typically the group splits up and go their separate ways. But you guys have been rocking together for a long time, so I'm curious to know how this started from the beginning.
So this started from the beginning. We're a little bit crazy, us guys. We're a little bit strange. We were friends long before we had a business together. I would say probably 4 years or more, 4 to 6 years. We were friends before. Some have said that Cassie has the greatest partner in the world. What a brat. So we were friends before we were in business together. How this all came about is I had graduated with my bachelor's degree, and RJ and RJ had worked his way up. He was a general manager of a restaurant, and at a very young age, and he had somebody tell him that, he was just an overpaid man, like something of an employee, like made a very derogatory remark to him. And he realized that he had worked, since he was a teenager into his young 20s and moved his way up, only to realize that it really meant nothing, because they didn't appreciate him. And like, he was not wanting to spend the next, remainder of his career in that kind of situation, in just a different place, different level, different type of thing. Otherwise, he's a very loyal person. He would have stayed with them for forever. And so he had quit his job. I had just moved back into Fort Worth, and I was not able to find a job with my degree. I think I was working at a restaurant as well as Dillard's in the shoe department, while I was looking for a new place. I bartended and worked in the restaurant industry all through college. I just was burned out, didn't want to do it anymore, hated it. And he was dropping me off at work because we were sharing a car for a hot minute there. He was dropping me off at work, and one day I just said, we should start our own business. And so that night we went back after I gotten off of work. We grabbed we loaded up the fridge with adult beverages, and we started talking business ideas, and that's where it all began. RJ was raised by entrepreneurs. He was raised, his parents own their own business, and I was raised by like a rocket scientist and a software,
Nice
person. So they fully expected me to be in medical school and computers working, like that's just what they were expecting of me. So I will say that it would have been very hard to make that jump without my business partner. He is the best business partner in the world. And I will say that in all seriousness. And we just started our first business that night, and it was a bunch of jokey business. And then we started working for Like, fast forward, long story short, we opened up our first serious business. Even though those were good, like, little test runs on how we work together, we learned things. We made a little money in them, but
So real estate wasn't your first endeavor as far as being business partners.
no, sir.
Awesome.
We had our first real serious businesses were we worked with Elijah, who is our other executive level at this point in Titanium partner. And RJ and I had a claims supplementation business. We supplemented insurance claims for general contractors. Like, we did that work. So it was kind of like we freelanced that part of their business. And then we had a general contracting business that we owned. And we were actually working for flippers. We were actually doing the work. We were actually GCs.
Right.
And that's how we were introduced into wholesaling, because one of our clients had purchased a property from a wholesaler. We didn't know what it was. And then we started, we're education junkies. We're the kind of people, like, we just want to keep growing. We want to keep, pushing ourselves and challenging ourselves and learning more and becoming better business owners. And RJ fell in love with real estate, and he's like, okay, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to figure out this wholesaling thing. I'm going to leave you to run our GC business. And I was like, okay, well, I'm already running it anyway. So that's, that's not even a thing really, but it was a little bit of a thing. But he came back, not that after our first couple deals, he was like, we're shutting it down. We're going all in on real estate. And I saw fire in his eyes. I was like, I know what that means. That means, like, this is it. Like, this real estate thing is going to be our thing, and it's going to be our thing for the rest of our lives, and it's history from there.
That's amazing. So let's speed it up a little bit, right? I see all these different brands of titanium. I see titanium in Alaska, Hawaii, Milwaukee. Like, it's crazy. Like, what made you guys? I asked RJ the same thing, but I always love to hear from the other partner's perspective. What made you guys go to Alaska and Hawaii, right? Like, why go all the way out there if you can make money in the DFW?
Why not? No, I think that, there's a lot of motivation behind that. I think it's a huge extreme desire to understand how the microeconomics work of all of these different places that we do real estate in. It was initially to, honestly, I mean, real estate is recession proof, but real estate in one market isn't recession proof. Why are we not going to safeguard ourselves and learn how to make sure we're learning all these different experiences in these different markets, because they're different. It's just a way for us to expand our knowledge, our capacity, our ability. And honestly, we get to travel. We get to do, you know what I'm saying? So why not? I guess is the thing. There's a lot of motivations behind that. And sometimes people think we're a little bit bananas in pajamas, but RJ just recently had this idea, and we did this 50-50-50 challenge. I don't know if you've seen it, but he went.
Yeah, I seen that. I couldn't sit there all day and watch it, but I look in some mornings, when I'm on the toilet taking a shit, be honest with you, I watch a little bit of it and then get my day going. But yeah, I like it. I think that was brave of him to sit there and just do that and serve the community. I don't think people see the value in it when you got a person in real life just making calls, texting, doing all that. He's showing you his entire screen. Nothing's been blocked or filtered. Numbers, everything. He's been so vulnerable that someone can rob him and take everything he worked for, and by calling people and doing crazy stuff like that. I'm really happy for him, and I'm pretty sure. If you care to share, I'm pretty sure that there was a conversation before this. And what was the conversation like from your perspective, him approaching you about him wanting to do this?
So he's like, he had said years and years and years ago, we just create these like huge audacious goals for ourselves, and we put ourselves in situations where it makes us figure it out. And that's what, this entire this is like at the core of us. Like, this is who we are. We get these big goals, and we're like, okay, well, how am I going to achieve that goal? And then I'm going to claim it. I'm going to claim it out loud, and I'm going to put my back against a wall. You know, it's like if you go on a weight loss journey, you're like, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. And you sit there and you claim it. You go on your social media and you're like, I'm going to lose 50 pounds. Here's how I'm going to do it. Here is how long it's going to take me. And here's my first progress photo. You know, are you about to show up a week later or whenever your check-in is supposed to be and not have done what you said you're going to do?
It's that accountability piece. Because people are going to be wondering and questioning, hey, you said you're going to do this and you ain't do that. You just a talker.
Right. So this is how this went for us. We'd said years ago, RJ's like, we're going to do deals in all 50 states. And he gets these ideas and I look at him and I get these ideas too, but usually his are a little bit crazier. Mine is like the next step, you know, it's big, but it's not that big. And so really like not too long had we been into this game, and he said, we're going to do deals in all 50 states. Like a second he realized we're going to go do a virtual deal. And I'm like, all right, I mean, that's kind of crazy. That's going to take a while, but let's go, you know? And then all of a sudden, you know, we realized, hey, we said we could do this. He says, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it live. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, now we need to, we need to talk. And I'm going to do it in 50 days. And I'm like, what? Okay, so he always comes up and he challenges himself. He wants to own 1% of the United States. You know what I'm saying? He wants to own 10% of the United States. He wants to own, you know what I'm saying? Like it's not crazy. It's actually brilliant. It's brilliant to set these crazy, audacious things because you then focus on how do you get there. And no matter, it's kind of like that cliche saying, you know, shoot for the moon. If you miss, you'll at least land among the stars type of thing. So, I mean.
So even during the 50 days, what did that put you at? Was you there to support him in the background? Or was you doing some other things for the company? Or was it strictly, let's focus on this campaign, then we get back to the rest of the business after the 50 days?
So right now, we are actually doing some other really crazy, cool, great things. We're finishing the build out of our CRM, which is going to be so bomb, but it's a lot of work to.
I built my own CRM. It took me 10 months and thousands of dollars worth of trial and error.
Right. It's going to be like, I'm like, I get chills thinking about it. So, but it's a lot of work. So we couldn't really, you know, put that on the back burner. It was one of those things. The initial intent, and we had to pivot after he started the campaign. The initial intent was for me to not be on screen at all for this.
Right.
The initial intent was for me to do very minimal for the campaign, but the live aspect kind of forced it. So we did have to make some pivots there. I did go on the lives almost every day, 3 or 4 times a day. Just to give him a break and, you know, give some coaching or teaching points. And, you know, we're going to do a similar thing again, if not the same thing with just more flair. And I'll definitely be part of it. It's definitely kind of mandatory. It was too much to do 8 hours with nobody. I mean, he would have just have to put himself off screen. But, you know, I did end up pretty much taking over dispositions. It ended up being like, it was too hard to do acquisitions.
Disposition is one of my favorite positions to do in the company. I did all the positions before I started outsourcing it. And you get to kind of like just talk to the sellers, you know, the buyers, and just deal with them and their craziness and they BS. And some buyers don't want to work with you because of this, and they got all these crazy demands. And it goes back to what you were saying earlier, just being an effective problem solver. I think if you don't have that ability to problem solve your business, you're not going to make it far in this business.
Ooh, it is one of the, if not the most important thing that you can, it's the most important thing that you can be able to do on a decisive level. And I'm not a very decisive person on a quick, on my toes. I'm a very decisive person once I've analyzed it. And so it's also another way that RJ's always like, you know, having him as a business partner pushes me to grow as a person. And I do too, you know, I push him to grow as a person as well. But to grow as a leader is to be more decisive, to be more direct. I'm not that person. I am not. I think that part of, my learning experience as a woman who's a leader has been, I'm not as direct. It's oftentimes perceived as being abrasive when a woman in business is direct, so he has pushed me so much to grow in areas and refine myself just by being my business partner. And going back to your question earlier about what LaShawn says, like that's been a really huge point of our longevity, our ability we work so well together. So I'm very fortunate in that regard. Regarding the challenge, it was weird because I wasn't prepared for it. And so I'm like, okay, I guess I'm just going to get on here and randomly talk. And I rescued a crazy dog, and he would always get on camera every day. And I was just like, hey, I'm here to serve you guys. And this is our real life. And this is transparency. This is what focus does in our business. And I mean, you also got to keep it fun, and you've got to enjoy it as well and be in the right seats. But, you can kind of do anything that you put yourself to, like executing in your business,
So let's go a little deeper real quick, right? If you don't mind.
Let's go.
How does constructive criticism goes for you guys? Like, because me and my wife partners, right? And I always made it a point to tell people, no matter what.
Oh no,
and she's always there. She look at things from the negative aspect. She's not the person who's going to glorify me and cheer me up like everybody else do. She's the person who's going to nitpick and make me irritated, but it's for the better of me. So how does that work when it comes to telling your partner, what they really don't want to hear, even if everybody cheering them up?
So most of the time at this point, we know how to talk to each other on a level of like, I can read, like I could say something to him the same way twice, and one day it hits different than it does another day, right? You have to just learn how to read each other. One is one of the biggest things. Two, it's just it's honestly just that experience and that longevity. Constructive criticism towards RJ from me usually goes better than the other way around, because he is harsh when he says things to me, because he thinks in his head I can handle it, and my initial reaction is like, you need to stop yourself right there. Don't be coming at me like that, but no, we just learned that language over time. The security of it, honestly, is the number one thing I could tell anybody, because everybody's going to have a different dynamic. It's just the security, the longevity, learning each other's little idiosyncrasies and language, learning how just your tone can affect. He used to be so hard on me because I would just be in a hurry and I would just say something and I'd be like, okay, can you do this? And he like, why you got an attitude? I'm like, I ain't got no attitude. I was just in a hurry, and
right. I feel
him, I think it eventually recognizing and just always trying to grow as a leader. We just became so much better at like brushing each other aside. As far as criticisms go, I think the biggest factor, it was a hard conversation that we had with each other, that we both said, look, my perspective is valuable, your perspective is valuable, and when it doesn't add up, when it doesn't match up, when we're not thinking the same thing, when we're not on the same path, it is always, I always want you to explain something to me, because we have the same end goal. We bring the same amount of value to the company. We bring, both wonderful perspectives when they're different, and we create these amazing things in this amazing company together. It's never So honestly now, like that analyzation of ourselves and our partnerships just kind of flipped a switch for us one day where it was like there's really not any sensitivities. It's more so like we have the same end goal. Like I'm never actually criticizing you. I'm analyzing this situation. We're trying
Right.
to create this amazing thing. And so we never have issues with that anymore. We're both so confident that we could do, like RJ could go do this by himself. Cassie could go do this by herself. But we are trying to change the world. Like we don't play.
Right.
And
And that only works in strength in numbers.
Yep, there's strength in numbers, and frankly, there's strength in just a league of extraordinary people. Like, we're not going to be able to change the world by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We're not going to be able to change this industry by ourselves. We're not going to be able to create our vision by ourselves. It's going to come with friends and family, and like that's how we're going to achieve it. And so um there's no person on this planet that I think that I trust more than RJ. So criticism of me, I take it very seriously if he has something to say, and vice versa. It's very important to me because I know I need to be listening, because we both know that at the end of the day, like, we have the same crazy goals.
And that's one thing I want us to touch on a little bit more, like basically alignment of interest. You're associating yourself with people with the same interests in order to achieve one similar goal.
Yep.
I think that that's what people in this business get misconstrued that is everybody's your friend. But
Yeah.
if you understand that, the enemy is there and they're praying for your downfall, no one like your partner. Everybody should have a partner or accountability partner to me to hold them accountable. Even I have my wife in my corner. She might not be as visual, vocal, but she's the puppet master in the background.
Yeah.
She monitors what I do. She makes sure I don't say the wrong things. I don't offend people. I don't disrespect nobody, and she keeps me in line. And I think that's why I admire you and RJ's relationship, because I know for a fact it balances each other out. It's like a balance beam. And so many people in this business, that's the thing that's stopping them from turning the corner. The ability to have a good partner or accountability partner, and the ability to stay focused.
Right, absolutely. And it's crazy because you really do have to have the ability to focus in the more psychological side of business and the more literal side of business, as far as execution and action. You have to be able to allot a certain amount of time to those things, and so many people live way too far on one end or way too far,
Right.
way too much in one of those realms. And there's been times where we were way too focused on building. It's kind of like a cash flow. Your time, you have a cash flow like for your time as well. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
I
Like,
agree.
people say time is money. The same way your time is spent, there's still a time flow. And how you spend that time, if your cash flow and your time flow, they're the same. They never they're measured by different things, but they're the same, and they're always running consistently with each other. And it doesn't matter if you have 25 people working in your office or two. You've got the same thing. It's how the time and the funds are spent. It's a cycle. There's a flow to it. And um, it's very important to allocate yourself and always have somebody there who is able to balance you out and keep you in check and pick up the pieces. And honestly, like, that's my super talent. Like, my superhuman ability is to do that, is to sit there and go, okay, this is where, like, in business and as a partner, he's got all this, he's doing. Oh, I don't even know how that got brought up. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
My WhatsApp just randomly popped up on my screen. I wasn't even touching my computer. But what I was going to say is, I'm always looking for, the blind side. In other words, I'm always looking for, okay, we're running this route over here, but what if all of a sudden our man's covered? I need to make sure this over here is open. You know what I'm saying? It's always just that thing. And that's how, RJ and I just balance each other out like that. And you kind of have to run your entire business that way,
What are some things like, because nothing's peaches and cream, but what are some things that you guys do to keep people from that circle, like, not saying in real estate in general, but just in life, like when there's a good thing going, that they try to put that bad energy into that situation to make you guys have problems, like maybe somebody stirring up some stuff, spreading rumors, or talking about you guys. What are some things you do to make sure that no one get that close to you guys?
It's so hard to not give energy to those situations, right? RJ and I are fiercely loyal and fiercely protective people. We're super laid back. We're super loving and open and transparent, and we want to give so much that sometimes we put ourselves at risk for those, and people get into that circle of energy or into our inner circle that shouldn't be. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate because we want everybody to we want to be able to just love everybody all of the time. Like, that's just who we are as people. And we always want everything to work. Like, we're just genuinely, like, that is who we are as humans. Like, we always want to work with everybody. We always want to, so, honestly, we've had to combat that in a few ways. We have to understand things about the nature of the world and the nature of this industry. And that's that sometimes people just don't have a whole perspective, and we know our truth. Nobody's ever going to be able to penetrate us to the level of they're going to actually harm us, because we know our truth. We know the real deal. And people can spread rumors, and people can spread lies. People can twist words that you say, and people can say, I had somebody tell me the other day, like, they're like, I don't like Cassi, or I don't like RJ. He's just too, something about that. They felt like he had an ego. And I'm like, no, you don't understand him, is what the difference is. I said, so it's like, how much have you actually paid attention? Oh, I don't know. I heard a clip of some interview he did. I'm like, well, there you go. You know what I'm saying? We've had people come in. We've had people try to steal me from the business. How insulting is that? How, like, you're going to steal me from my own business? That's just so insulting to me. And so there's situations where it's like, that is so hard not to give your energy to, when somebody's like, no, you need to come work for me. I'm like, first of all, I don't work for anybody but myself.
Exactly.
And my entire business. I do work for my business. I do come to work for my business partner every day, as well as everybody else in our organization. I come to work for them, and I do work for them, but I work for myself as well. And somebody telling me that, I'm like, you're very insulting. So because I'm female, I work for somebody, even though, like, I'm a partner. It's just so crazy. We've had so many people come say that, no. It's because you're rare. You're like a unicorn, is what they like. It was very popular to call Cassi a unicorn for a while. Like, what would it take to bring you away? I'm like, why would I ever go away from my own business to work for your business that's very similar as my business? Like, are you insane? So there's people that come in there, come in sometimes, even like people that we hire, and they'll be like, they try to play mom and dad. You know what I'm saying? They try to play mom and dad. They don't like something mom said, so they go and tell dad, because he's
exactly.
more.
I hate that.
People say, outside of the business, inside the business, and I'm like, are you kidding me? And honestly, RJ and I fell for that a lot in the beginning. We didn't even know, like, they're just playing us, like, oh my gosh, makes me so mad.
That happened to me before. Somebody tried to inbox me and I ignored it. Then they inboxed my wife, and I'm like, if I ignore you, it's for a reason. Why are you gonna inbox my wife? Like, you need the same results.
Yeah. Why are you asking Dad if we can go to the movies when I just said no because you didn't clean your room? Like, we get a lot of that. So we just safeguard ourselves against it. And eventually we just had to go, okay, like RJ and I are perfectly aligned. If he says something, it was for a very good reason. He may not have known. So we always just kind of combat like those things with all the people that try to get in and tear whatever we are doing, all the negative. It's like sometimes we use it to motivate us. Sometimes we laugh at it. Sometimes we are sad for people. Like sometimes we're very sad for people. And then sometimes we're just past that point where it's just happened so many times. Like I never question anything. Like I genuinely know I never have to question my business partner.
Right.
Ever. And he knows he never has to question me. We're not perfect people. We don't always agree with each other's actions, but no matter what, we know there's a very good reason behind each other's choices, decisions, how we handle something. We've just been through enough of those situations that's like, we've been refined many times over through the course of being business partners and being business owners that, we're very confident in each other's abilities, and so we don't really twist on it. Like sometimes we'll be like, oh, I think I would have done this, and how did I not think of that in that situation? But that's usually as much as it gets to be. You know what I'm saying? So,
right. So what's some things that you do as far as personal development? Is there some type of coaching you're involved in, or do you read books?
Okay, so honest to God, I'm so excited about Drip because it's been since February.
For like forever.
Oh my word. And I'm so sad that I don't get to come see. I was actually just talking to someone from DC, Robin. She's a good connection that we made in that area. And she's a doll. And so we chat periodically, and we talk to each other about business and how life is going and whatnot. And she's like, you need to come up here. It's so funny because it was right before I talked to you the other day, and she's like, you need to come up here and come see the cherry blossoms. Antoine Campbell's up here. Maybe we can just do a whole meetup once all this COVID business is over. And I'm like, what's so funny is like, I was supposed to do that in April, like I was supposed to speak at this thing. So as far as personal development goes, I'm very much looking forward to this because I put myself in situations where, one, I love to share. I believe we're put on this earth to share our experiences. We all have our own journeys. We all have our own hardships. We all have our own hurdles that we have to overcome. And I think it's so important to know yourself. I think it's so important to focus on personal development. And I'm just built in a way in which I have always worked every day of my life to be a better me. I all the days of my life that I can recall, I do something to make myself, my situation, my environment better. I without fail, I focus on that naturally. But I love to speak at events. I love to do podcasts like this because it motivates me to continue sharing and continue analyzing and continue to want to develop personally as a leader. I do love to read. I go through phases though. It just is what it is. I go through phases. I do love to go to masterminds. I love talking to other people who are leaders in this world. I'm very motivated to leave the world a more beautiful place than when it was the day before or when I came into it. Like it's something I've just been self-motivated to do. So I love our charity. Like I love that we are collectively
Yeah,
passionate.
what made you guys get into the charity thing? I see you guys do like a golf tournament for like I think cancer.
Yeah, Beat Kids Cancer is our charity. And actually, RJ's niece was diagnosed with leukemia when she was
Oh,
3.
wow.
Yeah, and she's a cancer survivor. She's had a residual effect. She's very young. She resulted in apraxia. She resulted in some developmental issues physically. Because kids just go through this treatment that adults go through. It needs to be better for their little baby bodies and things like that. So that's what the motivation was. But we've always said that we want to do charity work. My dad was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma when he was in his 20s. And my mom was in and out of the foster system. We have different causes that like hit home to us
Right.
our whole lives. And so we've wanted to do charity work, since before we were even business owners. And it was one of the things I say that's going to be my retirement is I'm going to, work with artists all day because I was an art major. I love art. I love to create. And I'm going to just run charities. That's going to be my retirement plan. I'm not one of those people that neither RJ or myself sit still very often. So
Yeah, you guys are very spontaneous and adventurous.
we're
Um,
very adventurous and we go, go. It's like, ooh, I like this. Okay, and that's why, because we're like that, it is so important that, we are decisive, that we do have like a blueprint that we execute to reach our goals. Because otherwise we would just both live in this visionary land
right.
all day, every day. And we could both easily do that,
So, I ask everybody come on the show this one question. And the question is, it's 2020, right? Which is technically the start of a new decade. Where do you see yourself in the next 10 years by the end of 2030?
2030 is, man, I see myself doing all kinds of travel. I see our business as just completely thriving. I don't think, unless they do something crazy like a event, like a hover house. Like we ain't changing this too much, right? Obviously we're going to be heavy in real estate. I mean, we're very flexible. Like it could be something crazy where we have an insane we love single family, and but we could have our mind completely changed on as far as apartment buildings, skyscrapers, who knows, but it's going to be real estate. I think that we'll always have somebody.
Yeah, I love real estate too.
Oh, I love it so much. It's
But
the
what's crazy is I've been loving real estate not like as an adult, but as a child. When I was working with my granddad and going to the job sites and seeing the house look punished, and they come back a few months later and it looked like 2030. Like that turns me on. Besides my wife, that's the second thing that turns me on.
Yes.
The development of real estate.
You know what's so funny? That's what I think sparked it in myself too. It's a story I tell often. My brother's dad would take me. His cousin was a builder, and he would work with his cousin and do like custom parts of the house with him, and just randomly work with him every now and then. And he would take me to these places, and he'd be like, "Do you see?" Like showing me what he had built. And
Wow.
as a baby, as a child, I remember it's some of my earliest memories are doing that with him. And I think that's what sparked my passion for this. So that's really cool that you have very similar, experience in that. But yeah, I mean, there's always going to be real estate. I definitely see a lot of travel. I definitely see a lot of, um, you know, sharing and developing is something we're very passionate about. Being leaders amongst business owners is definitely, even if we just stay in the real estate realm, it's going to be a thing. We're still relatively young in 2030. So I don't know that we'll be at that point where it's just like, hey, we check in on our company and run charities. But I definitely, knowing what we've achieved in 6 years, it's pretty crazy what we'll.
Listen, Cassie, I tell people all the time, I got this theory that real estate years is similar to dog years. Like 3 years in real estate, man, you can become a millionaire, build a house, and to provide for your family. You can't do that in no other industry that I can think of that
Yes.
quickly. So,
Yes.
like people laugh, hey, you only been doing this for 2 years and you're trying to help people. You gotta understand, like real estate is a fast moving comment and it's always changing its trajectory and you gotta stay on top of it. What worked 3 years ago might not work today. And that's why I'm always, Friday, I can't wait till the weekend. I'm going to the Grant Cardone business event. There's a lot of stuff that I learned from that guy. He helps me create awesome business by the things he teaches. So I just love going to events and learning.
Me
Because at the end of the day,
too.
you always got to be a student to the game, and that's what I want to leave off with: giving people some actual advice that they can implement today to take their business to the next level. What are some things? Maybe they don't have to be a newbie, right? Maybe somebody experienced it and they're watching. I have a variety of people follow me. What are some things you can give them if they want to bring on a partner, or if they just want to take their business to the next level? What's some things they can do today or tomorrow to
Okay,
get there?
so that last part froze, but I think your face froze. But I think that I gathered what you were asking. So I would say that focus on the very, like, if you say you already have if you don't have a blueprint for, you think of it like a project. You are going to go build a house.
Right.
Okay. Is your foundation laid? You have a blueprint to build this house. You know what I'm saying? And you've got to start there. If you don't have a blueprint for that specific project, we're not even talking about, you have to have a blueprint for your entire life, every day, for forevermore, right? But
Right.
if you're a wholesaler, like, I want to get to a point where I wholesale 4 deals a month, right? You have to have a plan, a blueprint to execute it. You have to lay the foundation. You have to, do the framing. You have to, so on and so forth. So you need to just do that in your business. And then you need to stay so super focused on, it's your number one priority. You have to dedicate your time to it, figuring it out, making sure that you can stay on your toes and pivot and be decisive. And if it's not working, but you have to start executing the steps, and that's where your focus has to be. And if you do that, you'll get the results. You may have to tweak some things along the way, but don't get so focused on all these other things that you're not executing the simple things that will take your business to the next level. If you're at a point where you're bringing on a partner, you need to figure out, know thyself, know what's important to you, know what is important in choosing that partner. Like, do you want somebody who is just going to roll over against your personality? No. Do you want somebody who's going to fight you on every little thing? No. You want somebody who you can work with. Okay, what does that person look like? Create your avatar. So everything is really just about creating a blueprint. Your avatar is a blueprint. If you're bringing on a partner, if you're bringing on employees, if you're bringing on whatever it is, write the plan and then write how you're going to execute it. It is very much that simple.
Yeah, I think people overcomplicate it because,
Yeah.
like, I sit back on my Facebook and I just watch people like, bro, sis, whoever. I'm not pointing no names out. You've been around this business for almost a year and a half, 2 years, and you haven't accomplished squilly squash shit. The reason why, you in everybody's face, you in everybody's group, you not focusing on your business and growing your business, and you don't have this tunnel vision to say, okay, the next 6 6 months, I'm not going to. Advice I can give too on top of it is that you must be selfish. You must be so selfish to the point that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get to the top. And I'm not saying like cause people or do anything unethical. I'm just saying worry about yourself. Because at the end of the day, the next person you trying to cater to or be all on their Facebook Live and share their posts, they gonna get theirs. So why not worry about you and get yours? You know what I mean? And that's why I tell people like, don't come smile in my face. I'm not your friend. I'm here to help you, but I'm not your friend. I got friends, but I don't need no more right now.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Like I have a lot of love for a lot of people in this industry. That was a hard lesson for me to learn too. We're very supportive. I want to support good people. It's important to support good people in this industry because like I said earlier, I know we're not going to achieve what we're set out to achieve by ourselves. I know that we're not. Right. And we're going to have a lot of people who are very capable, who are our league of extraordinary people, if you will, to achieve what we want to achieve in this industry. At the end of the day, it is weird how the balance you have to make, whether it's with your family and your friends, you have to make sure you're dedicating your amount of time to your goal, to your business. And people, it says, if you build it, they will come. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it.
Yeah, you keep on. At one point in time, my parents did not believe I should be starting.
But you know what's funny? They're not supposed to. Because this is your path. This is your path. And no one walks this path but you. And the one thing I was telling my wife earlier, driving, was we can't save everybody, LaShawn. Get it out your head. We can't help everybody, LaShawn. Stop trying to be Superwoman. Everybody in this world got a perspective position. The homeless man got to be homeless. The guy on the back of the trash truck, he got to drive the trash truck. Everybody can't be up. And you got to accept that. And that's not me being mean or ignorant. It's just that we understanding the calculation. Yes.
We all have our place. We all have our
Everybody not going to be a successful wholesaler. Everybody not going to be spending this post watching right now. Might have to just go back to working a job because that's what's best for them.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's about being honest to yourself and being truthful to yourself and stop wasting time and doing what you got to do for yourself.
I know exactly where she's coming from too, though, and I know exactly what you're saying because I get there and I have to tell myself that all of the time because I would save. Somebody asked me this the other day and it's so crazy because I'm like, I would save everybody on this planet if I could. I would eradicate all negativity, all evil, all hate. I would save everyone. I would cure all diseases if I could. That's who I am. I want to be able to do that. But it's not possible.
That's LaShawn all day. Shit.
Yeah, it's not possible. You have to.
Shit get clothes off her back.
Yeah, that's me too. I just literally let somebody live with me for a year that literally did not deserve it. Literally. I'm crazy.
That's the conversation we had, man. Hey, such and such. I said, nobody moving with us.
Yeah,
it'd be cheaper for me just to pay their rent before they move with us.
Yeah, never again. And I say it's not the first time I've said never again either. I ain't gonna lie about my situation. I can't. It's hard for me because I want to help people. I want them to. But you eventually realize I am much better if I focus on my superpowers and I one day at a time make this big of a difference. By the end of it all, I'm gonna make a huge ass difference. You know what I'm saying? And I can't, if I'm focused on trying to do way more than I humanly possibly can do, then I'm not even doing what I can do. I'm focused on the wrong thing.
And not only that, you're gonna mentally burn yourself out.
Oh Lord. And my feelings will get so hurt. My heart broke. Every time somebody that I tried to make a difference for them, they didn't pick it up and do it themselves. Like you can only lead a horse to water, right? But at some point I used to exhaust myself. I'm like, why? I just literally teed this up for you. Why are you not taking a swing? Why? What did I do wrong?
You can give, let me tell you where we at in this life right now. You can give somebody the blueprint. You can take them to where they need to be. You can take them down the road to success, and they get right in the street and be like, okay, which way do I turn? You gonna turn with me? Because it's entitlement. You know what I mean? And we at a place right now where everybody feel like they owe something. And honestly, I tell everybody this, man, only strong survive when we get bit up.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I carry my life this way. You got to show no mercy to people, man. And people say, "Oh, that's harsh," and that's why I like RJ, because I get him. I see
He's
what he's
a
talking about.
savage, right?
Yeah, because if you show people mercy, they either going to take advantage of you or they're going to be unappreciative.
Yeah.
Either way, it's never going to end good for you.
And we've had to learn that a lot the hard way. Look, at the end of the day, it is the strong survive. And, as much as I would love for everybody does have their place, and everybody has their certain amount of capabilities, and everybody does have their roles. And I don't think that there's like I don't think there's like a perfect makeup. I think there is a perfect ability to have a vision for yourself, and yourself, and then you just get out there and you will just be like a savage, like a constant, like you absolutely have this drive that nothing is going to stop you. Nothing can stop you. It's like you that's the kind of makeup that it takes. And most people that aren't this strong, that survive, are just lazy, in my opinion, to be honest with you, or they just lack clarity or focus or drive or something. But it just takes those things. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying like I'm, the perfect person, but when you look at all successful people, they're not lazy. They're not lazy,
They don't mind working because they know it got to get done. Somebody got to do it.
Yep. They might.
Look what Patrick Brown said. I don't know him personally, but he said some really nice words to you, so I want to read it. We could not do what we do without Cassi all up in our lives. It's setting things in our business on the right path when needed. You need people like this in your life and business to move forward. Man, you got a whole bunch of people. There's been nothing but positivity in the thread, man. And that's all I want in my life, man, is positivity. I want people that's hungry, people that have big, crazy goals to the point that if you told somebody your goals out loud, they're like, man, you're an idiot, man. That's stupid. That's not impossible. That's what I want around. You know what I mean? I'm crazy too. I'm like, hey, I want to do this. I want to do that. I'm trying to do this. My wife like, you really want to do it? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Why not? And then, I get a rush. Most entrepreneurs I know, when I talk to them, we get a rush out of not showing that we can do it or not, right? Yeah. Just betting on ourselves. It's like the casino with ourselves. We come in, many times we want to just coming back. And if you fail, there's no one to point the finger at but yourself. And I can live with them results.
Yeah, that's right. Robin, that's my girl right there. The mental fortitude to be successful. That's absolutely right. And I think like so amazing is that we just gained like this crazy confidence once we failed a lot. We were like, okay, we lived through that. We solved that. We fixed that. It's okay. We're still here. We used to stress so hard. And I'm so grateful that we're both like crazy set on doing things the right way. Our morals, our ethics, everything is in line, but we still fail. We're still going to piss people off. Somebody probably
going to please the world. I wrote down my Facebook the other day. You can't please the world.
Somebody will always find something to criticize you on. Always. Especially if you put yourself out there and you're transparent like we are. They'll be like, oh, but you had a flip that failed, or they'll always try to find something.
You can't please everybody.
And if they can't find it, they'll make it up.
You can literally give somebody a check for $1 million, and they look at you and say, but man, you got $7 million in your account. What's up with that?
Right.
That's the mindset that we're in right now with people.
And it's crazy. And so we really do surround ourselves. Patrick is one of those people, like straight up, he's going to end up being Titanium West Coast guaranteed. because like he's just gonna be regional titanium of the West Coast because Patrick is very aligned with us. He's that very. We were talking last night actually, and he has the same intensity that RJ and I have. He's very, very, very much like us. And I think it's just really important to surround yourself. It's like what you were saying, like RJ, it's just like this, it's a magnet. You know what works for you. You know, you can look and say, oh, somebody else has something special and I don't have that. Like that's not my unique ability. So that's really cool. And I can implement that here or bring that into my life here or surround myself with that because of this, that, or the other. And but it is so important that at the core of you and like at your vision level, those two things, people always talk about your core values, but I also think it's so important to talk about your vision level. Like we don't have to take all the same exact steps, but we're going to the same destination. And being surrounded by people with that think and work and operate that way in their lives and in their businesses, that is where it's at. You can be very selective. I don't need more friends. I can love a million people with all my heart, but the people that are around me in that circle, that's very small. That's very small.
I tell people, man, my circle tight as a crab ass, man.
I love it. I love it. I love it. It is.
But listen, it been an awesome. It just felt like we just in our living room having a genuine conversation. That's what my show is about. You know, I don't have a script. I don't have pre-asked questions. Like I just vibe with people, and I think I'm good at that. So, how can people that might not know who you are reach out to you? Do you have an IG or Facebook or anything?
Yeah, it's can you can see my name right there, Cassi Dehaas. And I both my Instagram and Facebook are on there. You can go to the Titanium Vault, or not the Titanium Vault. Sorry, we have a Facebook group, the Vault, Unlocking the Secrets. That's going to be ours. It's got our little logo on there. Those are probably the easiest ways to get a hold of us. Our YouTube is RJ's name, RJ Bates III. That's my partner. We should probably do something about that one day, but if it works for now, we're doing all right. But yeah, that's how you guys can get a hold of me. And gosh, clearly I could talk forever. I love talking business, and that's what I love about your podcast is it's just like real. It's just like, hey, let's spit about what it is we do or what we feel like we're talking about right now. But we will be getting a very structured conversation in very soon. So I wanted this to definitely feel more freestyle because we're going to be, you can talk about drip.
Yeah, definitely. Drip, November 11th to the 14th is a 4-day event with 40 speakers, 40 hours worth of content. You can get tickets as little as $97. It's going to be an amazing event. Everybody and their mother want to be there speaking. I hand selected everybody based on what I wanted. And I think that we did a good job with this event. So if you can make it, come on through. If you can't, still buy the ticket and get the recording. The recording is not about $97. Go to the website. It's explained to you step by step. drip2020.com. Come on through. It's a virtual event. Yeah, you could be in your house in your pajamas and just come on through. Cassie's going to be there. RJ Bates is going to be there. Jamie's going to be there. The whole team, the whole RJ Bates team will be there. So just come on through, man. And I appreciate everybody for the love and support.
I'm very excited, and I'm still gonna come up and get a photo shoot. I'll dedicate it to Drip. Some cherry blossoms.
Man, let me know when you come up. I'll take you around and show you all around town. It's a whole.
Yes, I can't wait.
DC is one of the most slept-on cities in the country, man. It's beautiful. I don't care how much money I get. This will always be home.
I think that's probably going to be I think I'm going to fall in love, and I'm very excited to hang out with you.
The food is out of this world. Because you understand, it's a melting pot. Like everybody comes here for work. It's the headquarters of the U.S. government. So you have all these different cultures and different people here. You can go on one street and find everything. You can find the whole world on one street, 5 cuisine. So I think you'll love it.
And I can't wait to hang out with LaShawn because I love her.
She's an amazing person. She's gonna take you everywhere and show you places. And Yeah, she's very passionate when it comes to people.
Mm-hmm. I love that girl. Well, I appreciate you for having me on, and I can't wait to it's just a few more days, right?
Yeah, a few more days. We be meeting, I think, next week to go over some stuff. But it's a cut and dry thing, just show up, do your part, and that's it.
Well,
We
I'm
don't
very,
want to overcomplicate things.
very excited. All right. Well, I appreciate you, and we'll see you in a few days.
Okay, appreciate you. I'm gonna stick around. I gotta do a few more announcements, but you go ahead, go. Thank you so much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Okay. So thank you guys, man. I appreciate you. If you haven't been following me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. I'm about to get ready to head downstairs and do a smoke with me session. I haven't been doing my smoke with me's consistently. Today I'm going to be smoking something nice. This from 2015. I don't know if you can see it. It's probably a blur from the light. But this is real nice. This is my last Cuban because they shut down the borders. They're supposed to be opening up the borders from COVID, I think this week or next week. When they do, I send my amigo over there to give me some more cigars. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. If you're watching this on YouTube, do me a favor and smash the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel so they can continue to send me a little bread if you don't mind. Other than that, man, I love you guys. I appreciate you. Look, listen, if you need me, if you need a high-level VA, text my cell phone right now, 202-335-3322. If you need some one-on-one consulting, text me. Anything when it comes to business and real estate, we pretty much got you covered. Text me and see if we can help you out. Other than that, I catch you. I got some amazing guests coming on next week as well. I told myself I'm going to try to go live more and just bring as much value as I can. And just highlight women. Like I think the females in this industry is not getting enough recognition. And even on my drip conference, man, we got a bunch of female speakers speaking. So we definitely wanted to show everybody that females are just as powerful as men. My smoke with me is going to be on my Instagram. It's literally going to be in the next 8 minutes. I'm about to go downstairs. If you got some questions when it comes to real estate, come on over to Instagram. I got you. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. But like, listen to the commercials coming up after this. But like Pam said on Martin, peace.
That's ISO. Rack it up, I got a bit of the bank to make me a safe house. Shake it up, she got her hands on her knees and she bringing the cake out. Smoke it up, I got some gas, some packs, I'm up in the greenhouse. Ball it up, I'm with the gang, we taking shots off the rebound. Fucking my posters, say now, I've been humble too long, yeah. Tell them all to stay calm, yeah. Tell them all to move on, yeah. Fucking my posters, say now, they be lost in the sauce, yeah. Took a loss, that's your loss, yeah. Had to get my point across, hey. Smoking that dope from Edmond, we the new meth in Redmond. We ain't real blood, but we brethren. Run up a check and it's pending. She talking my news, but send them. Fuck with the fam, you a dead man. Jesus peace on my pendant, and we still independent. ISO.
This podcast is sponsored by the REI Lead Vault. The REI Lead Vault is a real-world Podio workspace solution designed by real estate professionals for real estate professionals. Check it out at the reileadvault.com. This podcast is sponsored by Easy Skip Tracing. Go to www.easyskiptracing.com for some of the most quality data in the marketplace. In fact, Easy Skip Tracing believes in good quality data so much that they're willing to provide you the leads as long as you skip trace the list with the company. Listen, text 1K leads to 44222 and get 1,000 free leads as long as you purchase the skip tracing with Easy Skip.
Nothing but nuggets. Yeah. See, I'm telling you, man. Came from nothing to something. Now we giving you game. Dropping nothing but nuggets.